Right, kia ora koutou and a very warm welcome to this afternoon's council meeting. I'll just open us with a karakia and just check first. Councillor Franklin was joining via Teams just to make sure that she's not waiting. Not waiting, thank you. Okay, thanks. Okay, councillors, we gather here and ask your blessing on our work, on our thinking, on our dialogue and on our actions. Send us your spirit so that we may discern the better way, mindful of the impact on our decisions, especially on those who are most vulnerable and on earth, our common home. Help us to treat each other with respect so that all can have their say. May we let in the fresh air of humour and good grace. Let us not cling to long-held opinion, but be prepared to listen, to change our minds, to be surprised by insight and new perspectives. Let us leave the room for your spirit to inspire, to challenge, to change. We make this in all our prayers through Christ our Lord. Amen. And that prayer was gifted to us by St Anthony's School in Pahia Toa. So I thought it was a lovely prayer for us and very grateful for that. So the apologies, I'll pop an apology in for Councillor Franklin, who will be joining us by Teams, but because she's not here, I'll move that. Second to Councillor Gilmore. All those in favour, please say aye. Against, carried. Right. There is no one here for public forum. Just noting that I have spoken with the ladies from the Woodville Country Women's Institute who were expecting their item to be on the agenda. However, it isn't here, so they didn't wish to address. And I've said they can just come directly through to me. Right, notification of items not on the agenda. There are none. Declaration of conflicts of interest in relation to today's meeting. There are none. Confirmation of the minutes on page 5 from our meeting on Wednesday, the 31st of January. Can I have someone move those as a true and correct record? Councillor Chase, second, Councillor Wards. All those in favour, please say aye. Against, carried. Right, we'll just move into the community boards and community committees. So I'll take them individually. Can I have somebody move that Ikitahona Community Board minutes be received? Councillor Gilmore, second to Councillor Johns. All those in favour, please say aye. Against, carried. So page 11 of the Ikitahona Community Board. Page 12. Just to clarify, councillors, on just on the item around the cameras, I can confirm that I checked in with the team. The view is fine, and there is no public access to that footage. It is police access only. Just to clarify that, there was some questions at the community board meeting. Page 13. Page 14. Page 15. I have someone move that the minutes of Explore Pahia Tour be received. Councillor Johns, seconded Councillor Gilmore. Those in favour, please say aye. Against, carried. Just noting on page 17, actually, sorry, it is on page 18, so nothing on 17. Page 18, just to clarify that Councillor Franklin, it says no report. Councillor Franklin confirmed with me that there was nothing to report on. It wasn't that she hadn't discussed that matter with them. She just wanted to make that clear. And I think Councillor Franklin was looking at the meeting venues for them. Just noting though, yeah, I have paid for venues and filled out those same forms. Page 19. On item 9.3, the Pahiatua shares funding application, just to say that was a fantastic event, and their banner was there and they were acknowledged for their support coming on, brought a lot of people into the town, so it was nice to see. And just on page 20, I did have one query, probably to the Chief Executive, and you can come back to us on this. The Pahiatua District Business Group, they've got a note there, a combined chambers event to be held on the 8th of May at Tui HQ. That event last year, I think, was a recovery event. I'm not sure if that's going ahead, or you can come back to us on that. I haven't heard anything through the Dennebuke Chamber. Councillor Wards.
I don't know if I can add to that, Your Worship, and I don't think it was last year, but there has been a very successful Chambers event held at Tui HQ where Manawatu Chamber
Yes.
over as well. So whether or not that's the event they're referring to.
I can remember it does involve Manawatu and Wairarapa, I think, as well. But the last one was definitely linked to economics and the recovery. So yeah, I just haven't heard anything. So we clarify that. Page 21. And I would just, I did go walking in Pahiatua yesterday, and the dog park looks absolutely fantastic. Really fantastic asset. The fencing, yeah, certainly it looks great. Can't wait to see the agility equipment and that go up. So, okay. Right. And page 22. I just want to clarify, and somebody from infrastructure might be able to help me. They're talking around the Polish Memorial, the 80th reunion. Now that will be huge for Pahiatua and for the Tararua District. Just the third to last bullet point, relocating the picnic tables, council signage and rubbish bins. They're talking about those being council. Are the picnic tables ours, or are they Waka Kotahu's? Because it's on a state highway. I just wasn't quite too sure on that, if they're contacting the right people, that was all. But Councillor Franklin can discuss that with them. Page 23. Thank you. And we'll move on to the community board minutes of the Dennebuke Community Board. Can I have somebody move those as a true and correct record? Thank you. Councillor Ward, seconded Councillor Petty. All those in favour, please say aye. Against, carried. Right, page 24. Page 25. Page 26. Page 27. Page 28. 29. Page 30. Councillors, the minutes from Positively Woodville Community Committee. I have somebody move those as a true and correct record. Councillor Gilmore, seconded Councillor Johns. All those in favour, please say aye. Against, carried. So page 32. Page 33. Page 34. I have got one note on page 34, 11 general business. If Councillor Gilmore is going to investigate costs of a movie night, love for you to share that. Be great to have that throughout the district. Awesome. Thanks, Councillor Gilmore. Page 35, just a note that we did attend the Purple Poppy Day service, and that was a really lovely service, and well attended, growing every year. Okay. no further comments. We'll move on to reports. So we have 9.1, the recommendation from Audit and Risk Committee regarding the adoption of the annual report. Here we go. Thank you, Sarah.
Good afternoon, councillors, Brian, and my wonderful team from right there. It's a very exciting day. As of 11:15 this morning, we got approval from our auditors that they were happy with our annual report. It's been a massive effort to get us here, which you're all well aware of, and that's why we asked the team to be here present, because it's not just me, it's more than me, it's them. Couple of changes from the copy that is on the dashboard and what will be our final adopted version. We have processed a correction for reevaluation of our roading network, which was $14.5 million. My value, that was work we were expecting, and audit have signed off and they're happy. So that is not reflected in the version that is online. We also have received, I think around 2 minutes to 1 this afternoon, our letter of representation and an updated audit opinion from our audit director. So I'll go to the letter of representation first. I've only just circulated this, given it was just received. Ali is going to put it onto the big tin can for you guys.
I can share it here.
Just wanted to talk about 2 uncorrected misstatements that we have in our annual report, which are shown in the letter of representation. First being, we've already spoken to you about this, around the Pukaha community loan that we have within our books and the value. So that's one of them. Ellie, if you go straight to the last page, page 7. We will be asking the Mayor and CE to sign off for us this afternoon. So the first item is the community loan. Really important that I just make note that none of these 2 items are not material to our accounts. The second item is $5.6 million. I know it sounds like a lot, but in our world, when we have over $1 billion worth of assets, 5.6 is not much. The 5.6 relates to our land and buildings valuation. We made the call I want to say before Christmas, when we were looking to adopt, to have this as an uncorrected misstatement. We had to obtain an independent valuation of our land and building assets. As part of that process, our Q&A has uncovered a couple of duplicates within what was in the asset valuation, but also this year, the wonderful, amazing facilities team have provided quite a detailed listing of our parks assets, which we had valued for insurance purposes, which is part of this 5.6 million uncorrected. We don't believe we should be inflating, I guess, our park assets. A rubbish bin is a rubbish bin, and we'll replace it as it comes to fruition. So our team is pretty staunch on our opinion that our valuation for our land and buildings is correct, and audit have to go with the independent report. So this is where we've come to a uncorrected misstatement. So I just wanted to be transparent and explain that to you. If there's any questions, happy to take them. Then the positive of being one of the last 2 remaining councils to adopt the 23 annual report is that our audit opinion has been updated, and we no longer have an emphasis of matter around the 3 orders. So yay, a little bit cleaner opinion than what we would have otherwise received. So they are our key things. We are still making minor changes as of work that's still coming back from our auditors, but as our understanding, end of day today, we will both be firm on what our numbers are lying, and we are free to adopt the 23 annual reports.
Which is fantastic news because I think it's been on the agenda 3 times, and yeah, so I certainly will be pleased to sign that off. Uh, does anyone have any questions around that? No. I certainly acknowledge the team, the work of the team. One of my frustrations with audit has been around the level of detail and then re-detail, and then, it costs us again to get those independent reports. And I have challenged them on providing value because this is a cost to ratepayers. Yes, it provides some assurance, but actually, I know even myself now, if I, am attending a function, it needs a photograph, and the level of detail that is there. So I really am questioning some of that with audit. It is fantastic. I take my hat off to you for the level of work that each of you individually would have to put into getting this plan to this stage. So thank you very, very, very much. And it has been a frustration. It's nice to not have the three waters there for definite, but yeah, it has been very, very slow. For people watching online, just the sheer number of auditors that have been there and the process itself. So that is a no reflection of the team here at council, the work that you've done. So I very much do thank you for that, and I'm very happy to remove the recommendation on page 37, seconded by councillor Wards. All those in favour, please say aye. Aye. Against, carried. Well done. Very well done. Thank you. Right, thanks, councillors. That is a good news. I was a little nervous thinking, crikey, if that doesn't come through, it'll be there again. Right, I've just moved into portfolio reports. Is there anything to report there, councillor Wards?
Oh, sorry. Before I go there, one minute is. Very long agenda. Right. Okay, requests for information under the Local Government Informations and Meetings Act. Ellie, do you want to take us through that report?
Thank you, Your Worship. I'd just like to draw members' attention to the 4.3 onwards, where I've talked about proactive release and publishing of local government official information. It's something that we're keen to start doing and have been developing processes and a method of how we will do this with the resources that we have. And part of this will be making a point of time where we start treating every request that comes in as ones that we will look to proactively release. And when we send the automatic acknowledgement to the person requesting that information, we will outline, give them the warning that that's what we're going to do, and that we give them assurance that we will redact any personal identifying information, so no one will be able to tell who it is. And so it's very important that we do that. There's been some issues in the media with some other councils redacting a few things, but not enough so people could tell who it was about. So one of them being a high profile person. So it's something that we need to be careful with. If it's too difficult to redact enough information to share it without it being known who it is about, then it won't be made available, because we do have to uphold our obligations under the Privacy Act 2020. So just thought I'd just point out what we're doing so that you're aware before we start doing it. We'll be looking to do it from the start of the month, so it's not like messing up the tracking of what we're doing.
Thank you. Is there something that I fully support? So, is there any additional questions for Ellie on that report? Right. I'm happy to move the recommendation. It's on page 39, seconded by councillor Gilmore. All those in favour, please say aye. Against, carried. Right. Sorry, councillor Wards, your portfolio report.
Thank you, Your Worship. Just a bit of an update from the Akatea Pongaroa portfolio that I was able to travel along with members of the Civil Defence and Recovery team as they delivered some of the gear out to one of the community hubs that's on the list to be able to support. Very positive. It was, I have to admit, it was a very pleasant drive compared to a year ago out to Akatio, and just the response from the locals, from a civil defence and a community hall perspective, that they're very grateful for the support and the advocacy that's happened. And yeah, we left a couple of pretty well packed civil defence bins of gear, and with the promise of a generator to come. So a very positive report on my portfolio this month. Yeah, Tracy.
Thanks, Councillor Wards. And those communities, they have been very grateful and well set up, and I guess part of that resilience. So lovely that you were able to go out and be there with them for that. I think I did send invitations, made sure that they were in everyone's diary. I did put your apologies in at Kumaroa, Councillor Johns, and popped out to Te Uri as well. So I've managed to make 2 of those. No further questions on that. No. Was there any other portfolio reports, Councillor Wallace?
Yeah, we had a very good meeting at Norsewood regarding that public meeting, and I'd just like to express the team that did turn up from the CE down and her worship. So, and it was a good informative meeting, and I think it was brought up this morning. Yeah, the communications, we're getting there. And I think the people that will never convince, but I think the people that wanted value out of that meeting got it. And yeah, I'd just like to say thanks to the team that went out there with us. Thank you.
Councillor Wallace, and thank you for organising that. I think it was well received. There is a commitment to go out there again in 3 months' time. It's always good just to be able to answer any questions that the community's got, and I have had very positive feedback onto the Mayor and Councillors catch-ups that we are planning, and a few people have already indicated that they're going to pop along, so I think it's an important part of it. Councillor Sutherland.
Thanks, me, Tracy. I was just going to add, I normally don't report back on this, but I did attend the Cyclone Rating Recovery Stakeholder Group on Friday at Alliance. I think Hamish may attend those, but I only want to comment, it was a full team, including Wakakatahi, Richard Ashman was there, and it was, I've now sort of split that group into 2, the one that with the iwi and the experts going out to the sites, and then they're now sort of lifted the group one to more strategy and looking forward. But I just want to say it was really, really positive actually around funding. I mean, it's on a bit of a knife edge, the funding for the cyclone recovery, and also looking ahead for the long national land transport program ahead of us. But I left there feeling pretty positive, and I think it's a very good thing to have some governance there consistently going forward. You know, myself or Deputy Steve at those meetings. So I think why I felt quite good about it, because it's been a big issue with us, a big discussion around at the infrastructure with Hamish and the Alliance team around the funding and the 100% that we're trying to push hard for. But if I felt about anything, I do feel that the right people are in the ring with us. Who handles the check over will be another thing, but I did feel quite positive with everybody working in our best interest, and I'm sure the Wakakatahi people that would directly be dealing with Alliance and with Hamish, I felt quite good about them. So could change tomorrow, but anyway, that's perhaps I might steal Hamish's thunder too. But I just did quickly, so I shouldn't talk about it, but very quickly, just an email that popped through from Malua to say that ahead of schedule they've opened the Queen Victoria Avenue intersection. So that'll please the local councillors for sure. And but not as much hassle as the Rafferty one I have to find actually, but sounds like the traffic are doing a great job though. Alliance team of those. That's by the by. You're probably going to say something, Hamish. Sorry about that. No, you're welcome. I'm just
Thanks for sharing that, and that is fantastic news, because I'm sure we all got, I know I got called out at least once, with that detour and forgetting, but, you know, but there hasn't been as much in the community on that particular one, but actually it was a very dangerous roundabout, you know, I think I quoted at road safety meeting, you know, the average speed was 54 kilometres. Good piece of work, yeah. Really good piece of work. So thank you for that, and thanks for attending that meeting. I think it is good to have a governance team member there. I know that Richard from Wapakutahi advocates very heavily for us in that space, and it's nice just to meet him and hear that as well. Thank you. Okay, Councillor Peter Weber.
I just wanted to talk briefly and congratulate Ngāti Kahungunu for their Kapahaka regionals on the weekend. It was a huge event, bringing a lot of people to town, and attended with a lot of other councillors that are here in the room. It was great to see some of our staff on the stage as well. So it's big applause to Ngāti Kahungunu. It was a great family event as well. Lots of free activities for the children, plenty of food, and well organised.
Peter Weber, I couldn't agree more. It looked absolutely faultless, and I know, whilst in watching the kapahaka, I think I walked out, you know, what in between performances and thought, oh, I just better go and, you know, have a look around, and I nearly fell over. There was as many people outside again in the free activities and having a look at the stalls and at the different seating, and it really, yeah, it was very spacious, but they had absolutely everything covered. You know, the parking, the even providing golf carts for transportation for some of the kaumātua. We had a lot of visitors there through that. So I did meet Kushla, the MP for Ikaroa Rafti was there. Of course, we had Pa Arareki there, and able to sit and talk to her. Largely, you know, a lot around climate change in Rarotonga and the impacts that they were seeing. So that was really, really good. But I just couldn't fault it, and I think it was really, you know, it was even nice to see Wairarapa win, but I'd have to say the most popular judge was our local Kingi Kiriona, and the most popular team or kapahaka entry was actually Te Kapahaka from Ngāti Kahungunu and Tamaki Nui Aroa. That would have been in the loudest cheer. So congratulations, and congratulations, Adele, for your part in that, and yeah, and organising the training there. One of the things I know with the Tararua Sports Awards coming up, you know, kapahaka is something that just requires so much mental and physical skills. So I do consider it exactly at that level. But I was thrilled also to see, you know, Wairarapa, we're all closely connected. So I'm really pleased to see them take that out, and really looking forward to Ngāti It's going to be amazing. So, really. And also, Councillor Scott, did you want to make any comment on the Woodville Horticultural Show?
Yeah, just briefly to congratulate the Woodville Horticultural and Industrial Society for their show. I believe it was 140th. But a very, very good show. Yeah, lots of talent there, but also incredibly well supported. So it was quite good having a quick walk down the shops afterwards, and they were noticing extra people coming in. So.
Councillor Johns.
Bishop, I'm not sure who won the lemons competition, but this year was unable to find 3 perfect lemons. So I wasn't a contestant this year.
It wasn't yes,
there were. I went and had a look. Mine would have been better as the ones I saw.
Councillor Johns, and I know there was a large number of flowers present there as well, which I was lucky enough to take a couple home, which Right. Councillor Petty Weber.
Sorry, I totally forgot. It was a privilege to represent me, Tracy, at Neville Jacobson's 60 years. It's not a gold star. What do you call it? It's triple. Is it a triple gold star event? Yeah. Yeah, that was an amazing night, and 60 years is such an accomplishment. And it was interesting. They did this beautiful wooden, like I think it was probably removed, but it was the floorboards out of the old fire station, and yeah, they made and it was sort of photocopied. It's kind of hard to say what it was. Burnt maybe into the wood. Yeah, a picture of the old. There you go, laser. A picture of the old fire station, and that was a really beautiful piece. After his ceremony, they did other awards for people, and man, there's some years being put into it, the fire brigade and the volunteer service all these years. And there's another guy who lives in our community, but is originally from Wellington. He's 58 at the moment, so he's coming up to 60 as well, but still with our fire brigade now, but has originally done most of his years in Wellington. But yeah, it was quite mind blowing how many years people have done, and big ups to them.
Councillor Chase.
Yes, thank you, Mayor. Through you, I too would like to congratulate Ngāti Kahungunu Tamaki Nui Aroa and Hayden Hoppy and his project team on putting on a wonderful event here in Tamaki Nui Aroa. There was about 13 teams that competed, which allowed 4 teams to actually go ahead to Te Matatini or Taranaki in 2025. There was over 200 volunteers on the day to help pull that whole event together. It was amazing. The Kapahaka Tamaki Nui Aroa were amazing on stage. Actually, all the events were. It was quite mind-blowing. I spent majority of the day looking after the kaumātuas, which was also amazing. And very bossy they are. Right? But it was a great event. It was great for Tamaki Nui, and it was great for all of us, actually, for the whole community, and seeing just how busy the main street was, just seeing how everyone was coming together to provide accommodation for so many people that actually flew in just to see the only kapahaka rope that they wanted to from Auckland. There were some big personalities there. It was a great day. It was even a privilege to have the Paiariki of Rarotonga come to that event. Like, she doesn't normally go to any other events, but she came to ours, which speaks a lot, really. So I'm very proud of Ngāti Kahungunu and all the work that they've done. I also want to take the opportunity to wish Tani Waka Kohangi Reo, they turn 40 today. So, and they will be looking at celebrating in their birthday matariki this year.
Thanks for sharing those insights. And I think when we do talk, that what that did actually was for the whole of Tamaki Nui Aroa. They were hosted right throughout the district. Absolutely everybody had a connection in there, and yeah, it was just fantastic. So I know you could not do a right-hand turn in Dannyburg, and there was a large amounts of people on the streets, and it really did create a buzz. So no, that was awesome. And Pa'ariki has whānau here, and yeah, that was something that I didn't know. So yeah, it was really nice to spend that time. So well done to all the 200 volunteers. It's the first time that the regional Kapahaka festival or competition's been held here, but actually I think that would be the largest function or the largest event that has ever been held as well. So I can't think of one larger, but the traffic management and details were just, yeah. Congratulations to Alice. She did an incredible job there. I'm not sure I want to be doing all of that. Councillor Sutherland.
I was going to say, Mayor Tracy, probably the only event of anywhere near, or may have been bigger significance, was I was involved with a lot of it, was the 1993, was the New Zealand Maori Bowls tournament. And that was huge, and they have diminished since that time, but they were huge events, and I was on the committee and that that was hundreds and hundreds of people involved there. But that would be the last event like that. So, and that's a long time ago, 30 years ago. I'm pleased that I've survived 2 centuries.
Apology. Apologies. Councillor Sutherland, sometimes that's what my children say to me. Absolutely. No, it was just great. There was, in fact, to be fair, you could hear that for a long way too. I think, yeah, my husband actually commented he could hear the waiata. Yeah, so it was really good. Yeah, just brought a smile to everyone's face. Councillor Wards.
Thank you, Worship. It would be remiss of me not to reflect on the Fuel Your Stoke event that you and I attended in Pongaroa as well. It was mutually supported by Rural Support Trust and the council through the recovery funding, and that was a very special event for that community. It drew them in from actually a lot further than I thought they might have attracted, but great event in the Domain in Pongaroa, and yeah, it was very humbling, gratifying to see so many happy faces and kids having a great time in an area that, you know, has been certainly hard hit over the last year. So a big thank you to the teams that put that together as well.
Yes, thank you for that. And that was another one where you just saw people connecting and smiling and talking. So that was a real pleasure to be there. Just on the fire services, there is actually another gold star coming up in Pahiatua for Bryce Windleborn as well. I'm not sure how we compare with other districts, but the amount of gold stars and the level of service that we do have amongst those volunteers is incredible. So certainly just acknowledge that as well. From me, I also had a meeting with Minister Patterson, who's the Minister of Rural Communities. We covered off, all sorts of challenges that we're having at the moment. I talked a little bit about recovery, but actually also about earthquake-prone buildings, around forestry, and around those challenges that we had, connectivity, and all of those. And I do want to go back to him. He was quite keen to hear some more around our forestry data, which I've talked to Peter Wimsett about supplying some of those figures as well. So, and certainly shared with him some of the challenges with earthquake-prone buildings and having our towns on main streets, so that work had additional costs of traffic management and bits like that. So, hopefully, I did make some suggestions and talked about where local government was going with that, and especially with rural mayors and some of the ideas that we have around that. So hopefully there, and I've also signalled to the Reserve Bank that we would like to be taking part. We've worked very hard to be have our towns included in the cash trial. So I'm waiting to hear more details around that. But I did tell the minister that we had worked very hard towards that, and I expected to be a district that was selected for that. The only other one that I just want to formally acknowledge, and that's the workload of councillors at the moment. I can't think of a month where we have had so many meetings, so many very, very heavy agendas, and the time that's been given. So I just want to acknowledge and thank everybody for that. Some with the long-term plan, but actually we've had some very big agendas, and I know I've had to really focus my reading time and time management as well. So just wanted to thank you all for that. If there's and I just welcome Councillor Franklin to the meeting. We did put your apologies in earlier, just in case, just for a bit of lateness there. If there's nothing further, I'll move us into public excluded. I'm happy to move that. Second, Councillor Johns. All those in favour, please say aye. Aye. Thank you. carried. And there's a